This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Bellroy Venture Ready Pack 20 liter, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So the primary material that we're working with here is nylon. There is some recycled nylon and a couple different deniers and kinds. You can feel it kind of when you touch the pack, but it's all nylon, and I think it's a pretty solid material. If you've used or seen a Bellroy bag before, it's pretty much what we're used to seeing from them. Pretty lightweight, pretty durable, and also pretty water resistant. So this thing can handle a beating. If you get caught in the rain, it's not gonna be a huge deal. We also have YKK zippers that have an AquaGuard finish, as you can see on the main compartment there and the top compartment here. So some of the other zippers, other places aren't gonna have that because they don't really need it. But the main compartment where you're gonna be worried about water getting inside, you have that little bit of extra protection. We also have these little tabs on the end of every single zipper, which is kind of something we're used to seeing from Bellroy as well. So it makes it easier to open. And we have these like a bit bigger pulls here with a little knot and heat shrunk plastic on the end. So you can get them underneath there as a little bit of an extra security measure. I'm not sure if that's exactly what the reason for that is. I think it's more of just an opening thing here, but it works for that if you want to use it for that. If we flip over to the other side real quickly here, we have a magnetic buckle here. I almost was doing it the wrong way here on the sternum strap. And I like the magnetic buckle, but this one, it just feels a little bit small for me. So I was using this using this backpack while I was cycling. And while you're like, I can ride with no hands, but sometimes if it's bumpy or something like that, you don't want to do that. So if you're trying to do it with one hand, and if you have bigger hands or you're just not very coordinated like me, it can be kind of challenging to do this with one hand just because it's so small. You get used to it, but that's just something to keep in mind, I think. I do like the magnet. It takes some getting used to, but sometimes you just kind of want to buckle. It's easier to do with one hand. But on this side over here, we have a water bottle pocket. As you can see, it doesn't have a ton of depth here, so you're really only going to fit a small bottle in here, and I really don't own small water bottles. That's why there isn't one in there. Like the smallest bottles I really own are, I think it's a 32-ounce Nalgene, or whatever. The smallest bottle is probably 32 ounces, and that's not really going to fit inside of here. But a 12 to 16 is a pretty good bet. And we also have this little attachment loop here as well, which you can tighten up. So if you want to secure something in here, like a travel tripod, or like a Gorilla Pod or something like that, or if you have a water bottle, it's a little bit tall, and you want to just kind of like secure it through one of the loops in the top of the bottle. If your bottle has one of those, you can do that to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. But overall, pretty sleek looking pack, I think. Got the Bellroy logo up there on the top. Not really visible from a distance. It blends in very nicely. And then we have this bike loop down here if you want to attach. Really anything, doesn't have to be for bike stuff, but you could put a bike light on there or whatever. But overall, very sleek looking pack. I like the look of it, and the materials and hardware have held up so far. So moving on to the harness system here, it's pretty par for the course for Bellroy. Per usual, we do have a little Bellroy logo right there. And I forgot to mention in the last section, we do have a handle up here. So it actually is kind of like almost like a part of the harness system based on where it is. It kind of just blends in. You can't really see it on the top of the bag, which I like. But we also have a luggage pass-through in the middle here, in between the well-padded meshy areas on the back panel. So this slides out a little bit so it doesn't get in your way while you're wearing it. But it's there to use it if you want to. But a lot of good padding here, and this is a nice little air channel as well. So just keeps things pretty cool, especially for a dark backpack. We have a fair amount of padding on the shoulder straps. It feels a little bit more dense than the padding does on the back panel. And my one thing about the harness system here is it gets really thin down here towards the bottom. And I'm not like a huge person, but it just kind of, I don't know, I don't really like how it feels. It's not uncomfortable, it just feels different and not exactly how I want it to feel. Obviously we have the sternum strap, which we went over earlier. It's on a rail, and I find that it moves a little bit too easily for my liking. Like a lot of times I like these to be a little bit more stiff so it doesn't move on accident. And I found that like every time, this is the one that moves really easily. As you can kind of see, I'm not really doing much there. But if you get it into the perfect spot and then you get it caught on something or whatever, I mean, obviously that's not gonna happen a lot, but it could happen, and then you've got to re-find your perfect spot. So just wish it was a little bit tighter, but it's on a rail. I like how you can make those micro adjustments. But overall, I do like the harness system, well padded. We got this fine mesh all over to keep things cool. Air channel, and again, it's just a comfortable pack. If you are a bit bigger or you have like a larger frame or you're taller, it might feel a little bit small, but we'll get into that in the fit notes in just a minute. So if you are finding this video helpful, make sure you throw a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So as you can see, I'm wearing it right now and it feels pretty comfortable to wear. As I mentioned, it just right here is like the way it's comfortable for me to wear, I guess I should say. It just feels like this is a little bit too skinny here for me, and it kind of dig in a little bit, especially when I was riding my bike with it. Again, it's comfortable, it just doesn't feel exactly how I want it to, but we do have strap keepers on either side here, and there's also one on the sternum strap, so it keeps things nice looking. That's kind of Bellroy's biggest thing is these backpacks and their slings and whatever they're making, I think they do almost always look nice. So pretty comfortable if you ask me. Just to talk about that sternum strap again, so if I was like pretend I'm like riding my bike or whatever and have one hand on the handlebars, just getting here and doing this with one hand, I've gotten better at it, but it can be a little bit challenging. So if you do have like a range of motion issue that would make you worried about that, it can be a little bit challenging to do with one hand, but as you can see, I did get used to it and it can do it pretty easily now. It's just very small, but overall, very capable harness system and pretty comfortable whether you're walking, riding your bike, or just commuting to work in a car. So in typical Bellroy fashion, we have some pretty good organization going on, but it's not gonna limit you too much, but there are a few caveats, so let's dive into that. First things first, I went to the wrong side, it's on this side over here, but we have a side pocket right here, which you can kind of access when you have the bag on, so let me show you that real quickly. If you have it on and you bring it over like this, obviously you probably wouldn't have a table, but you can get to this pocket while you have the bag on. It's a little bit not the easiest for people who maybe have a range of motion issue, but like I do with that arm, I guess that's why I should say that. But I have my wallet stowed inside there right now, just a Chum Surf Shorts wallet. Not a ton of space, but it's pretty long. It actually goes down further than you think. It comes down all the way down to like this. I don't really know what you want to call that area. It's got a little bit of depth there as well. And it comes all the way up here in this corner. So a lot of space here, but not all of it's really super usable. And there is a key leash in here somewhere. Here we go. So plastic key leash. Nice to have it in there so you can attach your keys to it if you want to. If you don't want to, just kind of stuff it in there like I did. Maybe you can even put it up here in this little corner that's kind of hard to use, and then you don't have to worry about it. But nice to be able to have like a snack, phone, wallet, whatever you want to stow inside of here, there. And then it's a little bit hidden too, as you can see, like you might not even notice it if you didn't know it was there with that kind of hidden zipper. But moving up to the top here, we have a top compartment. It's kind of challenging to show you because of how this is oriented. But let me just open this up like this. So as you can see, we have a little gusset right here. And I get that for organization perspective, like you want to be more organized and you can kind of set things up how you want to. So I got my phone in this side over here, and then I just have a pair of headphones over here as well. But I really kind of wish that wasn't there, because I want to put like a packable rain jacket in there. I don't know why, but that's what I feel like this pocket works well for. Or even like my over-ear headphones don't fit inside of there because of that gusset. And if the gusset wasn't there, they'd easily fit. I could probably fit my packable rain jacket and my headphones in there. And it's going to depend on the size of your jacket and your headphones, but just kind of limiting to me, and I don't know, I just don't really super get the purpose. But this pocket is pretty big. It comes all the way down to this little curve in the material right here. You see my fingers kind of poking up there. We have a stretch mesh pocket on this side here. Then we have liner pockets on this side for pens or a stylus or something like that. So a pretty big pocket, got a little bit of depth of its own, but it is sharing space with that main compartment. So just be wary of that when you're packing this out. Move this stuff off to the side a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to the main compartment, which is a clamshell style opening. So I will open this now. You can really get into the nitty gritty of organization with this thing because of how big this opening is. I left that zipper open. But on the lid over here, we have these two mesh pockets with zippered closures on them. This top one, I typically put my sunglasses in here, but I forgot them today. It's really cloudy and rainy. So this is where my sunglasses normally go. You can obviously fit more than just that in there, but this is where they normally go. And then down here, I have the over-ear headphones that I wanted to put into this top pocket, but just couldn't quite fit, at least with the stuff I already had in there. But pretty good pocket. They also stretch, so you can put more stuff. If you have less stuff over here, you can put more stuff in here and it'll kind of bulge into the main compartment. No big deal. But then in the big area here, you've got quite a bit of space. It's not a huge backpack, but I'm pretty happy with what I was able to fit inside of here. So I've just got my toiletry kit that I use pretty much all the time. And then tech pouch from Air, and then 2 packing cubes. So I've got a large or an XL packing cube, depending how you look at it, and a smaller medium, depending how you look at it. So quite a bit of space. You can see a nice bucket there at the end, a little bit of space that's not really accessible from, like the lid doesn't go all the way down that far is what I'm saying. We have 2 little laptop sliders here, or maybe a laptop in a notebook, laptop in a book, or even a tablet right here. So this is a 15-inch 3D printed MacBook, so very large size. I was putting my 15-inch in there for the 2 weeks of testing. No problem, pretty good amount of padding here. Then obviously you have all that padding on the back side here, and then just kind of a rigid material there for the frame sheet. This one does not have as much padding here, so I don't know if I would put like your tablet face up with no cover on it. But you could slide a tablet with a case in there, no problem, book, notebook, whatever. And the only other organization that we've got inside of here is this side pocket. It's mesh, really easy to stow a snack in there. You could put a water bottle in there if you wanted to, but pretty close to the laptop compartment for my liking, but a little bit more organization that you can use if you want to, but because it is thin material and mesh, it's kind of out of the way. It's not really a big deal. But overall, pretty happy with the organization offered by this. It isn't a huge bag, so I don't want to see a ton of organization because it's just going to bog down the space that you have. But this is enough for me to feel like I can be organized, but also have enough space to put larger gear. Like I put a small camera cube in here as well, and that worked. So overall, very happy with this pack. It's performed very well. There are a lot of variations of this bag, I feel like, or bags like this that look like it, but I like that because everybody can get one that they want and works for them. So maybe this one's for you. Maybe there's another one out there. So there you have it, the Bellroy Venture Ready Pack 20 liter. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you on the next one.